Docs with Fat Cat. Sometimes these docs are going to make you feel uncomfortable. And you know what? That's a good thing because we need uncomfort to find comfort.
Ain't no light without no darkness.
They say when you're uncomfortable, it makes change within you. Maybe not that subject matter, but something changes within you when you had to face something that you were uncomfortable with, and you went through it and you fought through it. And welcome to Docs with Fat Cat. I'm going to say with a welcome to Docs with Fat, because I'm a little down about this week. Every week, what we do here on the Jizzy Just Bake channel, once a week, we pick docs, go around the horn, we talk about it. We do things and say stuff. We do the thing by watching, and we talk about what we saw. Every week we do it. And this week, Mr. Cat Daddy picked this documentary. And this one was called 3801 Lancaster.
American Tragedy.
American Tragedy.
American Tragedy.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, it was, I was again, watch last week's documentary, you know what I mean? The one before this one. And I just was going through, and again, same shit like when I had chose the last time. Like for some reason it just, when I was panning through it, like when I went to hit the button, it didn't work, and it just got stuck on that documentary real quick. And then, I started seeing, I started seeing what they was talking about, and about how, this was a case like no other, how this guy was a monster. They was describing this and the third, and then the magic word caught my attention: fetuses. Oh shit! Oh shit! I said, oh, shit.
Fetuses.
Yeah. So when I heard this dude was like killing fetuses and shit like that, I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, hold up, this guy is like, for you to kill a fetus, meaning you have to take the bait, you have to take it out of the girl and actually physically kill it. And I was like, wait a minute. So while I was watching, like I started, to be honest, before I even started that other documentary, like I started even watching a little bit of this one, and I was like, hold up, now this is gonna be it. That like I was
got a watch list.
I had to, it was already, like, I was already into it. It already caught me, and I started, and I was like, I can't watch this. So I was like, that was the pick, because I was really intrigued. I was really, it really caught me just off the trailer. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then now, since we watched it, and now since I got into it, you know what I mean? Like, I've, like, trust me, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen and heard of stories and witness shit myself, you know what I mean? But like, seeing this was kind of a gut check for me, because like I said, like this guy went from being a regular doctor to becoming, an abortion, you know what I mean? And for some reason, abortions is not looked at as the same respect as to like surgery, or well upkeeping of a human being. And what I mean is like they shun, like if a woman wants to get an abortion, they look at her like she's a germ, like she's something wrong with her. You know what I mean? And
when that's more pro-life people that are more adamant about coming down on people.
Pro-life people don't believe in extortion, abortions and things like that. Pro-choice people, what I mean? That's a thin line, because I'm sort of like a pro-choice person.
Me too.
Because I believe, listen, that's their body, and they have, that's their body. Whatever they think and they feel, well, guess what? They have that right, because that's their body. You know what I mean?
They're not harming you.
Right. Pro-life, you know what I mean? I also don't have no problems with that either. You know what I mean? Because, I am, it's kind of a double-edged sword with me. But in this aspect, and with this scenario, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't even you know, like these girls wanted to get abortions, and like it was like a ring. It was like the way they had all of this set up was like a racket, like an inner ring of a racket.
Or referrals,
you know what I mean?
or getting referred. Yeah, go see this guy. Go see this guy.
Right.
Keep
It all seemed. It didn't. To me, it was like he wasn't the first step, but he was the last step. You know what I mean? Gosnell. Well, I keep forgetting the dude's name.
Kermit Gosnell.
Kermit Gosnell. There it is. Kermit Gosnell.
And this was, just to give context, this was in 2009, 2010. This is about 10 years ago.
This is all recent shit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm saying the case was 10 years ago.
But the first time he was getting into, like when he first started getting controversy was way the fuck back in 79.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In 1979. And now, you know, if we take it that back, you know, back then, you know, those procedures was like unheard of. Like people wasn't really big on, you know, abortions. Like that wasn't even talked about. So here you got this guy in 79 doing these abortions and doing them fucked up back then. And the Board of Health and the state departments of Pennsylvania was just like, listen, man, he's doing abortions. We really don't want to talk about this shit. It's not a good look politically if we try to, you know, put light to this subject on it. You know what?
That statement is for political reasons.
Right. So you know, so they're like, you know what? You know, let's just, you know, they're not really saying, you know, they're not really complaining too much right now. So let them, you know, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do nothing to him. Keeps doing his thing. Keeps going on, and you know, and it does happen where now you got employees, patients, you know, talking about, yo, what's going on with this place? You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how not only were they doing abortions and stuff like that, but like I'm gonna kind of assume, even though I don't like to, but what I was seeing, like after the doctor put them under anesthesia, it was kind of like almost like they were kind of having sex with these people, I believe. You know what I mean? Yeah. While they're under the anesthesia. You know
there was a handful of them that got like STD. There were STDs that they said they didn't have before going in.
Right. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Now that could have been in numerous ways. They could have got it with unsanitized utensils they were using and all of that. But who's to say? I mean, if he's that sick enough to do this, who's to say he's not sick enough to, you know what I mean, to actually have intercourse with these patients? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, and then, you know, they try to tap into, like, they try to pick his brain. You know, how were you before all of this? You know, what was your mind state? Why this? And, you know, and I was shocked that he's like, yeah, you know, I was a Christian and this and that and the third. And I'm like, hold up. So you're supposedly a man of the faith, but then again, you're doing things that contradict the ways of the faith. So, you know, like, how are you connecting those two? You know what I mean? And then his explanation was even more bizarre. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, you know, yes, something snapped, and it all came down to me was he got accustomed to having power. He got accustomed to slipping the cracks and being above the law. And he got accustomed to getting that paycheck. Because when they was breaking it down, like even looking at Planned Parenthood, like the doctors in there, they were like, hey, yo, the bottom line we want is $10,000 a day. So imagine him. He was probably getting more. You know what I mean? So if you got a racket bringing in $10,000 to $15,000 a day, you know what I'm saying? You're going to want to keep that operation going for as long as you can.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Looking at that kind of place, he probably was doing some under-the-table shit anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
What wasn't on the books, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was doing the legal shit like crazy, I'm sure.
You know, and
people
to
that way past the fucking the time when you're supposed to be doing an abortion. And they're going there. He's giving. All right, so I don't mean to cut you off, but just to dive into it so people know a little bit about the backstory of it. His name is Dr. Kermit Gosselin from West Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
Born and raised on the playground's not where he used to play most of his days. The nigga fucking was from there. People loved him. He had a nickname when he was younger called the Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor. People had nothing but great things to say about him. And and then there was a bunch of women that were coming forward and they were making complaints about his practices, about his establishment, how dirty it was, and he was even one lady that died from it. Now, this was all back in about 2009, 10 when it came actually to court. Now, it's been going on before that, correct? But right around then is when it happened, going through the whole guideline of him doing all that stuff. And then what they uncovered is what they shared with the viewers in this documentary. That's pretty much where this is at. And his name is Kermit Gosselin.
But P, I want to go off of what you were saying about his reasoning and how he was talking about the Bible. And that's why, in my opinion, some religion is super fucking dangerous, because it's up to the person. It's up to the person to take it how they want to. And what he was saying for his reasoning of being able to kill everyone was life does not begin until they take the first breath. That's what he was saying. That
it was like the baby never breathed his first air, so it never took that first breath of fresh air, so it's not really killing.
But later in the documentary, you find out that plenty of the babies were born and then killed. Alive. And the one where they were saying when the girl was even like playing with the baby and then they killed it, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing right now? Like this, right. His voice when they would talk to him on the phone from jail, it's not through to him. Like, he doesn't get what he did. He doesn't get what happened. He doesn't understand.
And it's crazy because I think, sadly, either he's really playing it off well or he really fucking doesn't. He really thinks he did nothing wrong.
I think it's option two. I really do, man. I think he's
so far up his ass and so far on himself that he feels that
if he was doing it in a certain way where he's trying to be slicker just to get out, he'd be more careful what he was saying. You know what I mean?
Because that's his conviction is his religion, his faith. So in his faith, he's already convicted. He's already convicted in his mind. He's already innocent, and his conviction is innocence because in his mind, if his theory is that what I mean, by these principles of the Bible, I'm not breaking any of these principles. So with that's my conviction. Yeah. So you know what, man and law cannot convict me when I'm already convicted by God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Basically saying for a lot of people that just will use their faith to hide behind the bullshit they want to actually do in life.
Yep. Yeah. He's answering to a quote higher power. So he already has it in his head like, listen, like you were saying, Pete, you're just man, I'm answering to God. So it's you're never going to get through to him.
No. So he's already he's in his mind he's already in that mind state. You know what I mean? And then like he keeps on talking and you can just hear like no remorse.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, when they said when he was laughing in the courthouse, he's fucking being smug in the courthouse.
Smirking, waving to people and shit.
Right.
And also
like Cosby did. Cosby did that shit.
He also doesn't feel any remorse or anything bad, because when he was explaining, he's like, while I was doing my doctor and I was being a doctor, I had these people coming to me saying, Doc, can you do this? Are you able to do this? Are you able to do this? So in his mind, he's like, well, I can make, this is just me, thinking forward and just probably trying to, figure out what he's thinking.
Yeah.
He in his mind, he's just like, you know what? I can help these people doing this, even though it does seem wrong, but it's not wrong because, like he was saying, also, to the other coin to that what you said about him, you know what I mean? Not, him saying that babies in life is not the first breath. He was also saying that, these babies also weren't going to have a good life either because. Yeah,
I was just going to say that. That was that was his poem. That was probably the cryptic shit that say to me when he said he wanted to read his poem. And when he read that shit resonated in me. That shit was like, that fucking chills in my spine. It's like, yo, This guy actually believed that? Like, I was helping out the population by, like, they didn't have a chance anyway. Like, who the fuck are you?
These babies, you know what I mean? I'm going to exterminate these babies because they're coming to me to get this procedure done. You know what I mean? So the procedure is going to get done. I'm doing the service, and why are you guys looking at me with a frown face? They're not wanted. These babies aren't wanted. You know, now if these babies are being born with this type of attitude and mind frame, then they're not going to have a productive life. They're not going to be successful. They're going to go to jail. They're going to be poor.
He feel like shit about them, like they're doomed to be going to jail. It's just like, damn, bro.
Well, yeah, he was saying they're doomed to go to jail, drug abuse, mental illness. When it's like, being born poor doesn't guarantee mental illness. Like, what are we talking about? And if you think about rappers. Most rappers, what do they come from? Poverty. They blow up. Basketball players, they come from poverty. They blow up. So he went from I'm only answering to God to playing God, which fucked me up to where I'm like,
that's why that poem was like, he's not right, man. He got it was real cryptic to me, man. It's just like, bro, that's an expert. You ran with that as a poem, and you want to read that to people. So like they understand now. Like he read that shit and thought like people got him. Like,
he thought he dropped the mic. He thought he was like, see, that's what I'm talking about, guys. I'm like, no, we're not on the same page.
And you got his own families and shit, his cousins and shit. Just like, it wasn't like that. Where even go from there? I mean, my cousin was never like that. But it's like, he didn't seem like that. He was a nice guy, but it's like, why? What I didn't like was it wasn't a lot of, I needed more context from him.
They never went exactly. Why did
you have fetuses in a jar? What?
Right. Yeah, that's what they didn't get into.
They didn't get real personal with him. They didn't pick his brain how I want them.
Right, but I'm saying, like, did I miss that part of why they found? They didn't ask him why were there jars of 47
because I believe at that time that the case was still going. So there was certain topics that they couldn't really touch because he was still on trial for this.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that's the only reason they probably didn't hit them avenues because I was left with a lot of open fucking questions. You know what I mean?
But they asked he was asking him questions about asking him questions about the scissor and shit about that was there. He was asking him shit about that place.
Because that's actual evidence. Because it was evidence.
To me though, if you're still going on a current pending case, you shouldn't be sitting there at all, nigga. You shouldn't be saying nothing.
You shouldn't be great in interviews.
There's nothing in there that he was saying that was helping his case. So I didn't, you know what I mean? I almost feel like that might have been, I just think he's a fucked up person, man. Like, you know what I mean? He's just like unspilling this shit out in this way where he just wants you to believe that.
How about when his son was like, yo, dad, you know what I mean? All this shit true, man, that they talking about and shit, and how he was like, well, I don't want to lie to you. I gotta really, read what they're saying. What the fuck you mean? You gotta read what they're saying.
No. He said he's gotta read. And then he said he had to read. No. When he said that, he said he had to read, and then he went and read Genesis. He was talking about he had to read the Bible. That's what he was talking about. And then he said he went ahead and read the first, so many chapters of Genesis, and then that's when he started breaking into that.
Yep.
But it was just like, you got to read.
He said he had to read and then what I took from that was he said he really had to read what was saying about it. But then he read it. Then he went into the Bible, read the Bible, and then he came out with that. You know what I'm saying? Was like, okay.
No, he was saying he had to read the Bible to give a better answer of what he did. What he felt. What he did was what he was saying. It was like he had to read the Bible to make sure that he was justified in what he was doing was okay in the book, in the good book that he would believe. That's what he was saying. Then he said that after he read it, and then he came up with that whole thing where he was like,
he used Genesis as an example. That's what he did. He was references Genesis about how because back then
he said that helped him come to his decision. You know what I mean?
Back then in Genesis, because there's two stages in the Bible. There is actually before Christ where people were talking directly to God, and then there's after Christ. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now you're talking through Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So my thing when he was breaking that down, and I'm like, but you can't do it. You can't make decisions off of that. Because if you do that, then everything is going to be barbaric. Because that's how the time was in the Bible, from Genesis all the way up to Psalms. Everything was direct. Everything was personal. Everything was directed from God, and things were done in ways that you can't even fathomize of comprehending. You know what I mean? If you was to look at it in of how we look at life now, like you'll be mind blown. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying to myself, yo, this dude is actually really gonna try to take excerpts and try to reference the Bible to okay his actions there. You know what I'm saying? Because that was wrong.
It's a knee-jerk reaction cancer have. You know, it's he's on the hot seat and he's feeling some way. You know, we can fast forward to the result, and they got life in jail without parole. You know what I'm saying? Which is, I mean, how old was he? I don't even know. Did you guys catch that?
He was already old. Yeah,
man, I know he was already old, but there was exact numbers. Like life in jail for him could be the next 10 years, even. You know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's, so he's never gonna operate or do anything ever again. But the times, though, man.
Those conditions were bad.
Times, man. The different times, these people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 47 fucking fetuses, bro. Let that sink in.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like they should have dove into that more. They should have definitely dove into that more, where I get that they were just showing what it was, but I feel you. I wish that they would go in a little bit more into the why are you keeping these fucking things?
Right. It's hard for me to listen to your innocence. Like, you're playing as innocent, and I just did what people ask. Okay, that's that part. Why the fuck are there dead babies in the freezer? Why are the dead babies in jars, like severed limbs? And why did you keep them?
I think it's because at that time, because I remember, because you know what I'm saying, I remember was, you know, the feet, you know, the blowback and you know just about abortions, you know, that was a big thing at the time, you know, in that time, about, you know, with how people's beliefs and shit like that, like, but I'm gonna assume the reason why he kept those things was because there wasn't a place where you can send. I'm just maybe, you know, assuming, maybe I could be wrong.
China, they just threw them in a fucking dump. You know what I mean? Like,
but I don't think there's an organization or there's a place where, you know, after you successfully execute an abortion, where you can take the embryo, the fetus, or whatever you have, and say, here.
Yeah, there is. It's called medical waste. That's what they put it as.
Yeah, because I was going to say, then every abortion clinic would just be stacked to the ceiling with them. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
they label them as medical waste bags, and they take it away with that. You know what I mean?
Now they do that. Now I'm talking about at that time.
Yeah, but I mean, how long ago are you talking? Like, abortion clinics ain't been around forever.
That's what I'm saying. Back then was when the surplus of abortions was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, more and more women were having abortions at a high rate, right? So he probably didn't have a place.
My thing is, like,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think so, because some of them were being thrown out. Like, they weren't all being kept.
Right, because if it's legal, then if it's illegal if at the time it's a big boom, everything's going on, that means to me what you're saying is abortions are legal. So if they're legal, there has to be a proper way to dispose of what they're getting.
That's the point. The abortions. That's the thing. The abortions. There wasn't no repercussions for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they was trying to do at that time. All
I'm saying is, I'm sure that there was a procedure in play of how to get rid of it. So I'm just trying to tell you. Bodies.
There is no procedure, because abortions aren't there's regulations now. There's regulations now on abortions. You know what I'm saying? That are still trying to get.
Can I just throw a dart at the board real quick? Yo, my man, they found that shit in his office in 2010. You mean to tell me we weren't along at that point, 2010? That ain't long ago, nigga. That's years ago.
No, I'm telling you no.
They found these fetuses in 2009, my G. It's not late.
2009, 2010. He was probably. I mean, maybe he has a sick. Maybe he does have a sick fucking fascination.
Yo, but let me say something real quick. Regardless
You know
of anything, he could have gotten rid of them. Regardless if, like, and I'm not saying properly dispose of motherfucker. He could have thrown him in the trash. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he didn't have a chance to get rid of them. It's why are you keeping them? Is my question. You know?
That's what I just was hoping, like, in the documentary they would have like somebody asked the nigga. Somebody said they found the shit. Obviously. They were talking about the conditions of his office, and he was like, "Oh, the whatchamacallit was there? Oh, it should have been there. Not." They were like, "Not one." They didn't find not one fucking dose of the
yeah, it began with like a B or something. I know what you're talking about though.
He kept saying it and pointing or some shit. I don't know, but
yeah,
they were like, "Oh, it was supposed to." He was like, "Oh, there was there when I left." Like, come on, bro. It was the proper like anesthesia or something. You know what I'm saying? But,
and I promise you, I'm not victim blaming, and I don't know what each person was going through when they went there. But when they're showing like 6 different shitters for cats, you know what I mean? There's cat litter all over the place. There's cat shit all over the place. And these women are already way into a late term abortion. It's at some point you have to go in there and just be like, okay, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm not blaming the women at all.
Or at least I'm not doing this here.
Yes. That's what I mean.
That tells you right then and there. That tells you right then and there. You know what I'm saying? It spoke volumes to me from when the fucking health department wasn't going to his place. The State Department wasn't going to his place. Right. You know what I'm saying? When they did go there, they gave him a pass. You know what I'm saying? They gave him a pass. Nah, I don't believe it's bad management. I believe it's all political. I believe they kept that man in business because it would have fucking threw a bad lighting on the fucking health department, on the bills that they was trying to pass for these pro-life people. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was about. You know what I'm saying? Everything, because all of this shit that was going around back then at that time, I remember, you know what I'm saying, that everything was going on, how all these abortion clinics were around, you know what I'm saying? All these abortion clinics were, I remember, you know what I'm saying, with Planned Parenthood was in New Haven, you know what I'm saying, that is not there. You know what I mean? And all the shit that they was going through, you know what I mean? Because I'm speaking from experience, man. I'm not speaking because of a documentary. I'm not speaking because of certain. Some of this shit that I'm talking about is from experience. You know what I mean? And at that time, you know what I'm saying? That was not people were not comfortable talking about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and he knew this, he had to know this. He knows this. He knew people were giving a blind eye on abortion, you know what I mean? Because it was a fucking touchy subject. You know what I'm saying? Because if a girl was like, yo, I want an abortion, women, you know what I'm saying? Older women are looking at her, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how the fuck can you do this? Like, people, you know, like society were frowning on that. You know what I mean? But you still had these people out there that were like, yo, hold up. You know what I mean? This is her body. She does have a point. You know what I mean? She has a right to do this. You know, and those people were the minimum. They wasn't the majority. So they was like, they created an avenue. Look, if you're going to do this, we got to do it like this, because we can't really do it, you know, we're going to do it as best way as we can and as safe as we can. But then you had those other motherfuckers and other people that were like, you know what, all right, come on. Like the guy said in the documentary, whenever you have a call for a service, whenever there's a service needed, there will be people to provide it legally and illegally. You know what I'm saying? And I guess in Kermit's case, you know what I'm saying? He figured, well, I am a licensed doctor. I do know I do know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I
think he was riding on that Bible quote of life doesn't start until breath, so I'm not doing anything wrong.
And I don't, you know, in his mind, he's like, my workers don't need to be, you know, certified with anything, just as long as I'm the one with the license. You know what I mean? Because his staff weren't fucking school medical people. They were just like, as they were saying, people
died because they fucking gave her too much anesthesia.
That's how she died. Yeah, that's how that lady died. Yeah, anesthesia. Yeah. You know
but now,
I mean?
all right. Tell me real quick if I missed it, but did anybody else get charged with anything? Or did they go with that Marilyn Manson, or excuse me, did they go with that Charles Manson shit of like, he told me to do it? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, wait, but you still did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
And that's
you know
another
you
thing.
didn't have a
That's
license to
another
do
thing.
that. You
Yep,
know
they did.
that you shouldn't have put that shit in her arm. Like, come
That's
on.
another
They
thing.
didn't tap into it. There's a lot of holes they left in this document.
That's what I'm
And-
saying. That's what I'm
And the
saying.
health department, what I think the health department did, I think the health department knew that they fucked up so bad that they were like, if we stop him now, they're going to realize what we fucking did and we're all going to be in trouble. So keep low, let it keep going. Somebody else will get in trouble later. That's what I think the health department did.
But then you see at the end of the doc where they said nobody was charged from the health department.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So
it
it's
was-
like,
and that-
Because
you
it's
got
the
another-
government. The government doesn't
Right.
fuck with the government.
You got your guy. You got your Manson. Like you said, you got your Manson.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't care
You
about
got
nobody
your
else.
guy. Yep.
Yeah.
And what's fucked up is that, you know, in Virginia and every, you know, in all these other states, they passed regulations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To where abortion clinics have to adhere to as if it was a surgery hospital, you know, or the same standards to having surgery in a surgery in a surgery room, right? I think a few years, a few months or years after they passed it, the new regulations, and it went through Virginia, Texas, and all that. Then some new people get in office in Virginia and
Run it
repeal
back.
that fucking
Yep. They ran it back.
regulations. They got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you know what? Fuck this. We're not going through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Let them
even
going back to what they were doing, and now Planned Parenthood in Texas, because of what Virginia did, is now trying to sue Texas. You know what I mean? For not letting them operate in Texas because Texas has passed that new regulation. So it's still a fight to even now, man, which is crazy. You know.
I know
I mean,
that
this
was
is-
at the end, but I wish that they could have at least expanded on that a little bit more because like you're saying, then Virginia repealed it, but I would have liked a why. Because
Right.
I don't, because none of that shit enters my brain and makes any sense of like,
As
okay,
right,
wait,
as
now you
cool.
guys have to be clean. You guys have to keep the instruments clean. You have to run in a certain program. You have to follow these fucking rules. And then they're like, nah, we don't want to do that shit no more. Cut that out. Like, so who does that help? That's what I'm saying. Who does that help? How does that help anybody by like, all right, follow these rules, keep shit clean, do shit by the book, and then, well, all right, now you don't have to do that no more. Just go wild. Whatever you want to fucking do.
The guy had
That-
one. They found one pair of scissors, man. This guy's
I
doing
get it.
150 abortions a day. He's got one pair of scissors.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine that. 47 fetuses with only one pair of scissors in that whole place. Then they were saying how in Planned Parenthood, now this is Planned Parenthood, how the nurse was saying how one doctor will leave the room, will have a patient leave the room, not clean nothing, and have another patient come in with blood and shit all over the place. And then another worker went for guys and that was saying how he cut one lady and go right next to the next lady and started working on her.
Oh,
But
he
I'm
was
not
doing
saying-
like, no bedside manner. He's like, oh, stop being,
What?
and like they all said the same thing.
Yeah.
Stop being a baby. Come on, cut it
Yeah.
out. It's like, bro, she's like, it hurt. Like he wasn't doing it right. The other girl's like, I felt the fucking, I was starting to shake like it was burning. The anesthesia because they put she probably was close to fucking being overdosed herself on the shit like the other person on anesthesia because they put too
And
much.
well, she definitely overdosed because she was fucking throwing up. She either overdosed or was allergic to it because then
Right.
she's like, I woke up because I was vomiting and there was a girl cleaning it off my face. And it's like red flags
Right. And then
everywhere.
she
That
fucking-
means something's
she went
wrong.
all the way home. That's how her mother found out. She fucking just had it because she went home fucking like a murder scene. What the hell's going on?
I think, man, this is going to keep going on till we find a remedial answer. You know what I'm saying? And I think personally, I think, all right, for those people that are anti-abortions, you know what I'm saying, which I can see, which, I can also agree with, you know what I mean? How about instead of having abortion clinics, how about we just open up more adoption clinics? All right, you don't want to abort and you don't want to terminate a life, which is cool and it's a good thing that you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
But
Cool.
you know why people wouldn't want to
then-
do that? Because they're scared
then now
to
let's-
face fucking
let's-
demons, bro.
Let's open up abortion clinics then, man. Let's open up adoption clinics. Let's go back
But
to
then-
adopting. You
But
know
then,
what I mean?
but then their little secrets alive. You know what I mean? Almost like people are scared of that. I think. You know what I mean? I think some people. I'm just saying for some people.
Nah, I understand that.
They probably go through that. Like I put this kid for adoption. You know what? There's a possibility this motherfucker gonna come looking for me one day, and I'm gonna feel like even more shit. And they take it and they put it on themselves sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
And let me add another thing to that. Let me add another thing real quick. You know how they can't keep the fucking abortion clinics right? Let me tell you about fucking adoption clinics. Let's talk about China and how they got rich. And bro, you want to talk about human trafficking, and you want to talk about kids to not to agree with Dr. Gosnell, but nobody gives a fuck about kids in adoption clinics. You know what I'm saying? And in a perfect world, yes, you open up more adoption clinics, you keep people right, but adoption clinics suck, just like fucking abortion clinics do.
But you know what they're gonna do?
You know what the perfect, and it's a fucked up thing to say, but you know what the perfect resolution is? More responsible people, man.
And that's why it's a political issue.
That's never going to happen, though. That's never going to happen. People aren't going to be as responsible as they should be.
You know what? Because one of the perfect things somebody said to me one time was like, yo, you know, I was like, I'm having a kid, and it's like, you know, I didn't plan it. She was like, well, did you unplan? If you weren't safe, then you know how babies are made, right? You know what I mean? Like, there was a risk. Yeah. You just played with a loaded gun. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's accidents that happen. Condoms could slip off or break or whatever.
Of course.
Those are smaller chances. But if you're relying on just getting that gun out to fight, you know what I mean, while it's hot and heavy, that don't always work. So that's what I mean about more responsible adults. You know what I mean? You can't like the biggest thing my mother always says, one of the things that she just runs with in life that she tells me all the time, don't create a storm and cry when it rains. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of have to have a little responsibility as far as what you're doing out there. You got to be safer. You really don't want any fucking kids. You got to really make sure that you got that pill. You got to really make sure you're on that shot. You got to really make sure you use condoms. These are parts of things that we all, like, if you're about that. So I'm not blaming nobody, because then you have that thing where, like, homegirls, my fucking heart was dying for her. Like, she got fucking raped, man. Like, I get that 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody gets raped, and now they have a child from the person that rapes them. That's a psychological fucking thing. Like, to me, it's like, I don't know if I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I feel what you're saying 1,000,000%, but this is like in business, in life, and everything. Say, if you go 1,000 miles an hour, I only have this plan, you're going to make that plan happen. But when you know that you have a backup plan, when you know that you have something that can take care of it later, that's it. Because, okay, I don't want to have a kid. Yes, I should use condoms, but if I don't, there's plan B. And hey, if that doesn't work, I can get an abort. You know what I mean? If there's other options, people are going to take those options. But what you're saying is correct. In a perfect world, of course, that's what should happen. People should be more responsible, but there's always backups that people can have. And even to the backup point of, hey, we can have the baby and give it away. You know, but you're right. That's what should happen, but will it happen?
It has to be. It's like, that's a big part.
My thing is, I'm more like this, man. I get it. I understand all what y'all saying. You know what I mean? And it does make sense, though. But my bottom line is this: at least nobody's dying.
What do you mean?
You know what I'm saying? What? At least there's no babies being dead. At least there's no babies dying.
With the adoption clinic.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you fucked me up. I'm like, what? We're pulling out? I was like, we were talking about a lot right there. All right,
you know what I mean? At least, you know what I mean? Right. They got a chance.
But then you're going to run into an overpopulated orphanage system that don't have people that are taking. You're going to have more babies than people adopting them at some point.
That's
right now. It's not even at some point. That's right now.
I mean, like if you have it, like, and more of that. You know how he's saying, if you have more and more adoptions, now you're going to be building adoptions like prisons almost. You know what I'm saying?
And then we go to, who's funding those? Does that coming out of tax money? And then we get to the political argument of, like, if I don't believe in abortion, why is my tax money going to fucking building an abortion clinic? You know what I mean? It's tough.
That's what everything boils down to, man.
It comes to politics.
That's why we don't have 1 million abortion clinics out. That's why it was an experiment with Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying? That's why you hardly don't see those, because you got those people, and they're a majority where they're like, listen, I don't believe in that shit, man. I'm not going to be paying. I'm not paying for that shit to be open.
It's tough,
bro. You had crowds of people every day in front of Planned Parenthood
with those boards with the aborted fetuses on them, and they would have the pictures out there and
patients were walking in to Planned Parenthood, okay?
Like they were crossing a picket line.
With fucking getting heckled, going inside. You know what I mean? And these people were brutal. I'm talking about, these people were brutal. on what they were saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, like their patients, like people had to go in there like if they were fucking like movie stars, hooded, sunglasses, like you know what I mean, covered up. So just to avoid, you know what I mean, just to avoid that.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's tough.
It was
tough because I'll tell you, for me, like I feel how you were saying, Pete, like somewhere in the middle, because of course there's situations to where people should get abortions. Like, of course, like if you're raped by a family member, things like of that nature. And then I do understand the pro-choice thing too, but I also don't think it should be like a Subway punch card where you just get the fucking, okay, I just get to keep getting pregnant and keep having an abortion because but then I don't have a strong stance on when life begins.
The responsibility needs to come in at some point. Accidents and shit happen. I get it. I'm not, nobody's perfect. I understand that. But like you said, like a punch card, like it shouldn't be that, well, I know I could just do whatever because I know I could just do that. And
but then who makes the rule? See, that's a tough point. Then who makes the rule and how many is it? Can you do 2, but then no more? How, like it's a
right.
I'm glad I'm not the one making the decisions.
Then you're gonna have people just giving birth to babies and leaving them in dumpsters and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Brenda had a baby. Okay, Tupac told us.
But
for real, you know what I'm saying? So that's a touchy subject, and it's always going to be that, man, because you know what I mean. The reality, you know what I'm saying, is that is a life that's getting taken away.
I'm with you because myself, I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice, pro-life, borderline too. But
whether it's alive, whether however you want to see it, you know what I'm saying. That's a life that is not going to get a chance to even know anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And because how some of those detectives in the movie and some of the guys that were looking into them were saying 12 weeks, that's a like not to put the definition on it, but they were saying like you look at it and you see that is a baby. He was saying those looked like my daughters when they were born at 12 weeks old. So
and that's another thing.
Tough.
And that's another
fucking tough.
Yeah. It is, man.
This is
because obviously none of us are women, none of us have the female productive organ, so it's reproductive organ, so it's tough for obviously we don't get to make the choice. I feel once again, of course, it should be more up to women, but then like I said, I'm not trying to make a joke, but at what point does it stop? Like it can't just be every time I get pregnant I just get to go have an abortion and I have no sense of self and I have no sense of responsibility until just we get to go and keep doing that. Like it's a tough call, but of course I feel like it should be more up to women, but then there's got to be a cap on it at some point. It's
right. It's just like having a bunch of kids and something. It's like, all right, we're going to have, if you keep having kids and you're not working and you keep just, all you're doing is having kids and collecting off the state, then you should probably get tied up. You know what I mean? At some point, it's like, all right, you're not working. All you're doing is popping babies out and collecting more food stamps and, you're not working and shit. We got to zip that thing up. We got to zip it up. Yeah. After 4 kids, you're done, man. 4 or 5 kids, you're done. 5 kids would be a max.
Well,
5, you're done.
Well, that's
tough.
You see, now what you just said could be implemented into probably a regulation or what I mean, maybe that can be a stipulation or something, where all right, y'all don't want abortions to happen and this, that, and the third. Okay, well check this out. All right. For the pro-life and for the pro-life people, and for the pro-choice, this is what's gonna happen. You could only have one adoption term, right? Now, if you get pregnant again, you know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna also bring other problems because if you get pregnant again and you don't want it, then what? Are you gonna face charges, criminal charges? Are you gonna go to jail? Like, what do you present as a punishment for this? You really can't.
You're presenting a punishment for something that somebody did to themselves.
Like you really can't, man. You really can't punish a person for doing that. You really can't reprimand a person to the extent you want them to because of that. What do? You know what I'm saying? So that's the
argument. That's the argument.
Right,
is that
exactly.
Everyone has a different.
There's where the fucking fault is.
Yeah.
There's why people can't come to the whole circle on making a decision of it being a clear conscience and a right thing to do decision, because you're violating a person's personal
Right.
Freedom.
Yes, freedom too.
Right.
And in my opinion, there is no cut and clear right answer. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can see both sides of it, but there's people that are staunch. Like there's people, bro, I worked with a guy before to where like we were having the conversation to where, like I said, my views have always been pretty much the same. And I brought up the thing. I was like, do you think that if a man rapes his daughter, she shouldn't? And he's like, nope. God planned that. That's what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, I don't live there, bro. I don't live in that mindset. Like, I don't know. Like,
I disagree.
No,
I disagree that.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Like, but like I said, so there's people that, no, it says in the Bible not to, so we have, you know, and there's people that just stand so strong on that and can see no variable, and there's absolutely no instance where the baby's going to be born mentally retarded. So what? Have it anyway. The baby's going to be born without a left arm and a right. Have it in. You know, like, there's people that are so strong about no matter what, have that baby, and then there's people that are on the other side of, fuck it, you had to, you know, whatever, get rid of it. But so I don't think we're ever going to have a, you know, unity on that, unified thought and a unified front. So it's
not going to be a unanimous. Everybody's pretty much on the same fence. It's always going to be a 50-50 split, I think, with people as far as the choice.
Homosexuality is an abomination in the Bible, but yet we have gays all over the fucking place, right? So there's so much you could try to fucking tie into the Bible and try to say that you try to live by these rules in the Bible. Right. But with those type of people, I look at them, you know what I'm saying, with a half eye of fuck you and the other half of yeah, fucking right.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the Bible, you know what I mean, is so many interpretations to so many people. So you can't sit there and tell me, you know what I mean, and try to convince me, that this was Kermit's reason for doing what he did. Fuck you. No.
Exactly.
No.
And you can't pick and choose, what you like out of the Bible, because the other day I went to the Hong Kong market up the street and I got a pound of shrimp for $8. Read the Bible. You can't eat shellfish. So I'm supposed to go to hell because I just ate a pound of shrimp the other day. Like I said, you can't pick and choose. Clothing in the Bible, clothing is only supposed to be made out of one material. So if you got any mixed material, you got some cotton and rayon going on, fuck you, you're done. Like it's
right.
And
you can't pick and choose what you want out of the Bible. You can't be like, well, I'd like to follow this part, but not this part.
With certain things, it's like, my thing is, if you're a part of that faith and you're all about it, you better be eating everything out of that book. Then, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You better be living. You better believe. Exactly.
Don't pick and choose, because I run into people that I know we're openly gay people and it's cool and all that, but then don't ever start pitching about religion and all that. It's like, so I mean, in your faith, what you're telling me, you're deeper avowed Christian and you're gay. To me, it's like you contradict everything in your belief.
Of course, right. Exactly.
Your belief is wrong. So do you just bypass that part of the book and go, well, skip that page, you rip it out and just kind of throw it out the?
I think people do, yeah. I think because it gets uncomfortable. It gets uncomfortable with like, oh shit, am I doing?
They're scared to challenge their own belief.
Yeah.
They just like, I want to believe this, and that's it. Don't challenge it. Leave me the fuck alone. Okay, but sometimes we got to challenge from afar if it looks funny, and I'm like, I don't know. I just see it for what I'm seeing. I'm not your fucking executioner. I'm not your God. I'm not the one that you got to answer to. But in my opinion, it looked weird from here. That's all.
Right. What you preaching, and what I'm seeing ain't connecting, man.
Yep.
That's all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why for that reason, that's why I myself, you know what I mean? I don't belong to a specific religion. I don't believe not like that. I just tell people, listen, I believe in God, and that's that. Because we're all imperfect. You know what I'm saying? We're all imperfect. We're all, you know what I mean, have mood swings. We all have changes of minds and things like that. We all have different beliefs. You know what I mean?
I mean, how many devout Christians that then had, sex before they got married? You know what I mean? Like, you weren't supposed to do that. Like if you're going to be devout, you know what I mean? Like,
the biggest thing was the Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I'm saying? At first I was really, because my mom's a Jehovah's Witness. She still is, you know what I'm saying? And then, I was walking with that and I was in that, you know what I mean? And then like how they didn't celebrate this and didn't celebrate that and things like this. But yet, they'll have a meeting. They'll have a get together. This is a party. No, it's a get together. No. You have music. You have people in here. You have food. It's not in church. We're not speaking about God. We're not preaching. We're not in service.
Only thing different
so this is a form of a party. Damn it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Yep.
Right.
It's a come together with the congregation. No, it's a fucking party.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I was saying on the last podcast, my slogan for 2020 is stop playing pretend. I hate that shit. Because, yo, you know that you're having a fucking party.
Yes.
Just have a party. And, yo, and if you're not supposed to have a party, then maybe you're not whatever religion you're saying that you are. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just not it.
Nobody wants to face their falses. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's all it is.
It's like I'm putting out this fake narrative out there, and I kind of know it's fake. And please don't pull my card because I don't want to face it.
Yep.
You know
but that's the thing is when you go to bed at night and you're laying down by yourself, you know that you just went to a party. You know what I'm saying? Like you can call it whatever the fuck you want. Like I don't know if you've ever seen any of those flyers online for like. There's people in different states that like sell weed. You know what I'm saying? But it's like an invite only type thing, and it's
nothing on here for sale.
We're not selling weed. We're taking donations. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
You're not will you give me something if I don't give you a donation? Yeah.
Right.
And wait. Why do I have to donate a specific amount? I have to donate $20 for a grant? Wait, what do we do? Like, don't do that shit.
Well, you know what? All that shit is right there. That's where that's legal shit. You know what I mean? We said if they get caught up in court, it's like we said donation. We never said
And then the court goes, and then the court goes, well, shut the fuck up because what you did is you sold drugs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck if you call it a donation. Like, that's not how it is. And you know what? You can't give people drugs for free anyway, regardless if you had a donation or not.
That's like with the call girls, because I believe they run with a donation deal.
Exactly.
That's how they get away with they get to their guidelines of not being caught in the law. So there's something with that word and selling shit that if you use it in a court, you get away.
Nobody gets you can try it, but nobody's getting away with that shit.
Your Honor, he just donated $1 million to me, Your Honor. I don't know where the cocaine came from, but he donated me $1 million.
What do you mean? Why did I have condoms in my purse? He donated me to hang out with me for an hour.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. But another thing that I didn't like either was, man, you know, what really hit me, man, was, you know, how they fucking autopsy the fetuses, man. You know what I mean? There's where I went. Like that was like the gut check, man. You know what I mean? That was to see these babies cut open, and the worst one was how he was cutting the vertebrae on these babies, man.
The snip, they were calling it. The snip was fucked up. And he was saying, and the thing that fucked me up is, once again, I just don't like people that lie, because the doctor was trying to say they were all already passed away by the time that they came out. And they all proved that was not fucking true. So that's the shit that annoys the fuck out of me, is when, like I said, my motto is stop playing pretend.
Why are you cutting their vertebrae? If you're fucking
exactly.
If they're dead, why are you cutting the vertebrae if they're dead? There's no need for you to do that then. There's no need for that. They're dead already.
Because his excuse was that this was the humane thing to do, was to just make sure, just to make sure. And it's like, no.
You knew they were alive, and you did what you did.
Exactly.
You was trying to fucking play the experiment, man, with human babies, man.
But what I will say is, it is interesting what human beings can do. Because let me put it to you like this: I've never, cut open an animal. Say like if I killed a deer, and I've never done anything like that. So I bet you the first time it would be fucking insane to me. But I bet you by the 20th time I'm cutting open a deer, it starts to feel normal. So I think that's what happened to him, is you do it enough and he's not seeing it.
You think that would have more time? Like you fucking play with dead bodies for a living. Like you're fucking shit in the like.
It comes natural now.
It becomes numb to you. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take a break now after fucking digging in this guy's fucking ribcage and go and get a sandwich up the street. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like somebody can operate like that, and for anybody else, like your normal Joe like us, or not into that, it's like, how the fuck can you just like sew up a dead kid that you're ready to put on display for a funeral and you got a child even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're fucking working on them, and then you go eat a lunch and go eat a sandwich. And
yeah, how does a brain surgeon go eat spaghetti for lunch? You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck? But I think it kind of does speak to how resilient the human mind is of you can really get used to fucking anything, which is, and not every single person. I'm obviously, you know, there's different people, different thresholds, but
what a person can do is crazy.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting too, because what I like to do while we do these, I play it on in the background to you know, just get clips if there's anything. But what the health thing said, they said themselves, they believe there was no investigation because most of the women were poor and of color. That was fucking nuts too, that they just straight up admitted, like, well, we think because, you know, these are some poor, you know, people of color, so fuck them, which is probably true. You know what I'm saying? It's probably.
But then you had that one girl, she was a white girl, right?
Yeah, like
but she was poor though. But she was poor.
She was poor.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then remember when on her way, right? Remember how she was supposedly on her way to the court in Philly, right?
I felt bad for her.
How about the place where she went to go get her doctor records?
Oh,
that building. How about that building? When they showed that building, it looked like an apartment building. You had regular fucking curtains, ACs in the windows, regular ACs in the windows. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? What?
She was saying she said last time they went there was real bad. She said last time they went there was real bad because that's where people were outside and shit. And they said, good thing it was quiet today.
And she said that they lied to them. She thought she was 19 weeks pregnant, and then they gave her the paperwork that said 21 weeks pregnant. But so what is that? That's like halfway into.
Oh, that brought me back because I lost that thought. That brought me right back. That's another thing. Like another thing I got that he was doing was he was doing a lot of late term abortions.
Yes.
That was the thing with him.
Like that's where the illegal shit comes in.
Right. There's where he felt he was playing God because legally, you know, I think it's 15 weeks. 19 is even too much.
Yeah. Is it?
But I think 19 is a little bit too much.
Told her 19 and she thought that was good. Why did she, you know what I mean? Maybe she
because remember that was. They gave her because she couldn't do it there, and they gave her the fucking pamphlet with Dr. fucking Kermit's number on it. That's what she went through. So they were right where they were like, no, we're not doing it here. But then they were wrong. So we're like, yeah, but we know where you can get it done, which is yuck.
Right. And there's where the controversy.
That's the pool you talking about.
That was the controversy. He was doing late term abortions. You know what I'm saying? Which wasn't right. Where he's playing God. You know what I'm saying? So like, because 15 weeks is the cutoff. You can't do nothing after that because that's when all right, to give context, you know what I'm saying, for those that don't know or have a little bit, you know, of an idea, all right, it's supposed to start from when the baby is an embryo without the baby getting formed, starting to get its form. Once the baby starts to form and start getting fingers and toes and shit like that, that's it. It's over. You're too much far in your trimester. You're too much into your trimester. You're too far in now. You know what I mean? So, the main the objective is to get the baby while it's in an embryo, whether it's in a being state, because it's a lot easier.
It's like taking it out. It's like taking an egg before it becomes a chicken.
Basically, you know what I mean? Where it's easy enough where you can have a tool of suction to go inside the uterus and just suck it out. But that's not what you know what I mean? That's why, you know what I mean, he needed those tools and those instruments because these are full blown developed babies that he's taking out.
Yeah.
He's got to cut the umbilical cord. You know what I mean? He probably even lacerated these girls, man, to where they were probably all the way cut to their fucking belly button. You know what I'm saying? Like
he might have done C-sections on some of them.
Yeah, like when you have an abortion, bro, like you're not supposed to have a bump whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. You know what I mean? But when you know you get these cases where women don't think that they're pregnant, and then all of a sudden they get these sicknesses. You know, they start showing these symptoms. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, oh, shit, I'm pregnant. And when they find out where they're pregnant, they're at that line. You're 13, 14, oh shit, you're 16. So now they're like, fuck, where can I go? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And here comes Mr. Kermit. Hey, I'm here, guys. What's up?
Good doctor.
Come see me.
Yeah. Good doctor.
You know, go see the good doc.
Yeah,
where you know we can't necessarily do nothing for you, but here's this guy, and check this out. You might not want to talk about this either. You might want to just go in there, not say nothing, just get whatever he says done, and you'll be all right.
Right.
And that's what fucked me. It fucked with me because then how many people knew?
What's that?
Right.
I said it fucked with me because then how many people knew? Because if that lady at the desk, if the fucking receptionist at the front desk knew we can't do it here, but we know where you can go and get it done, then how many other fucking people knew that's the spot where you get the late term abortions done? You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, how deep does it go? How many people knew about this shit? You know?
And there's where you can charge those ridiculous price. You know what I'm saying? Well, listen. You know what I'm saying? Well, listen. How much do you really want this baby? No? Okay, so we gotta charge you this because one, you're doing this, way too late. You're not supposed to be doing this, but we're gonna do it for you anyway. We're gonna do you the favor. This is a fucked up pitch that they're probably saying. You're late, and it's really not supposed to be done, but we can get it done, and it's gonna be for this amount. Does that sound okay?
You're gonna pay a premium because you need us,
right?
Right.
And by the way, here's a little disclaimer that we need you to sign.
Yeah.
Right, and the paperwork.
Now you sign that paper.
Everything on that paper, it's gonna be doctored up.
Of course. And now you sign that, and what you did was say, I know what I'm doing. I give consent for these people to do what they need to do for a service to get done. And there's where the doctor's like, listen, man, I'm not breaking no rules here.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing. Was up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because their wording and they're contracted and the way they're doing it was
and that's what it falls on them, though, when it's like, okay, they could say that, but motherfucker, the law says your ass ain't supposed to be doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you can run whatever you want, motherfucker, Kerm. But it was just something wrong with him, man.
And it just came to the point where it had to take that guy. It had to take somebody in legislation to be like, yo,
we gotta look into this.
Like, what the fuck? Like, how many more times is these people gonna say, yo?
Did you see how fucking filthy that floor was, bro?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That place was fucking beyond disgusting. Like, that's what I'm saying. Those girls had to be at their last wits, man, because there's no way, like you said before, Lil Matt, when you were talking about, there's no way somebody could walk in there and not look around and be like, oh, hell no. You
don't walk in and you're like, this is fine. It's like, no.
Right.
And shit, cat shit. And you're like, oh.
And he was talking about he had huge ass fucking turtles in there and like big ass turtle, like, and they said they were way too big for the tanks and just weird shit, man.
Boring. So now the cops were going there and said the fucking smell was fucking putrid. Yeah. You can imagine these girls now.
It felt like formaldehyde. Mad formaldehyde. What he was doing was he was embalming the dead pieces and the dead fetuses. He was just embalming them so they don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's crazy. Like, that's fucked up, man.
Why was he keeping
like he was like the only hunters do that. Only people that hunt for game, kill an animal, you know what I mean, and then stuff them and put them on the fucking wall for a treat.
I think it's a deeper story of a man who took. I think the deeper story right here is a man who took pride in doing this shit.
That's what I think. Yeah.
And I think
he started getting happy about it after a while. You know what I mean? I believe he was, like, this is a necessary evil. They need me to do this.
I think the health department not stepping in enabled it and emboldened him to believe his own bullshit. So I think after a while he was just like, oh shit, no one stopped. Yeah, I'm doing the right thing. It doesn't matter. Like nobody gives a fuck. Cool.
That's right back to your statement before when you said in the past about R. Kelly felt invincible. So look, these motherfuckers caught me on tape, and I'm still free, nigga.
There's the video of R. Kelly in a club talking about they should have stopped me years ago, and you're like, what are you doing? Like he's just yelling out loud, like, nah, they had to come for me years ago. Like, whoa. Now he's in jail getting fucked up, and that's another thing too. I didn't look up, but I'll look it up right now. But yo, he's got to be in some crazy. I'm talking about Kermit now. He's got to be in some crazy fucking protective custody. Because anybody knows that shit, you're done. Like your skull's getting stomped out.
He's definitely not General Pop. I wouldn't think so.
No.
He's probably PC.
He's got to be, but it's just.
I mean,
ugh.
Yeah.
Put him with the big boys. Let him
it's
the back of his neck.
And then the icing on the cake, right, where he tried to even quote. I forgot the guy who was quoting when he was saying a practical man cannot change his outcome in a society, but an impractical man has the wits to change his surroundings and therefore change society.
Yeah.
So in other words, I'm an impractical man. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
It's what like it was. He was quoting somebody else, and the quote makes sense, but not to. But he can't use it for what the fuck he was doing.
Right.
What the quote means is like, somebody that doesn't follow the rules is going to be the person that changes the norm. Yes. But not, it's not the motherfucker that just kills a bunch of babies. Like you aren't a revolutionary. You're not the person changing shit.
You gotta do what you did. Everybody, it's just right. This is how we gotta do. We gotta fucking snip babies. Like, come on, man.
No.
The guy's got a mental health issue, and he's had it for a long time, and he covered it up with a smile.
Yo, there are people that are born with defects to where they do not feel any regret. They do not feel any shame. They don't. Yeah, there's people that don't have, and those are fucking serial killers. That's what they are. He just did his shit in a different way.
It's like there's a part of their brain, and we could chalk that up to, like you said, same thing, mental health. There's a mental health thing that probably came from this person being born, that maybe his brain didn't develop a certain, or her brain didn't develop a certain way, where that part of their brain, that we all have different parts of our brain that we tap into. There's a reason why we all cry for certain things. There's a reason why, when you see something and, shit, man, you can get a handful of motherfuckers like, yo, man, that shit kind of was emotional. Nigga, like, you got a little dusty eye too? Yeah, me too. But it's because there's the empathy, sympathy there. There's people that don't have that. That's almost like something missing to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you said,
it's sociopath type shit. It's sociopath type shit. But I looked him up. All right, he's 79 years old. But here's the fucking kicker. Bro, he's 79 years old right now, so he's still alive. So once again, fucking taxpayer money is going to keeping this motherfucker alive and feeding him, which is disgusting. But after that, he has 6 fucking kids. I feel bad for those fucking kids, man. 6 kids. Because I know that they talked about his son in the movie, but
what'd your dad do for a living? Well, mine fucking killed babies. Come on. That's
it's kind of like you know what I mean, like it's like the Kevorkian thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was
instead of it being babies, you know what I mean, you got this guy, they're adults, but it's still the same shit if you ask me, you know what I mean? Him and Dr. Kevorkian, like they doing the same thing, so like, it's real tricky, man.
These days, at least they will let you die, because it just happened to my grandmother. These days, they will let you die. They won't cause you to die, but as in terms of like, they won't inject something to make you die. But like, say my grandmother, she had a major stroke, and they were like, we can keep feeding her, but she's never going to come. Like, the worst thing that she could do is wake up. Because she's going to wake up, she's not, so they do it nowadays where they just literally stop feeding you. And you're not in pain. It's, they pump you through all the morphine that you want, and your body feels no pain, but they have moved on to that of like, all right, we're going to take out the feeding tube, and then in 5 days or less, they will pass away. And that's what happened. And it's interesting.
I've been through that. I've been through that phase of actually seeing them. Where that's where they say pull the plug on somebody, that source, whatever, keep it alive, you just let it go from that point.
I'll tell you, I was in the room when they did that for my grandfather, and you can see that, yes, that machine was keeping him alive, and that was it. Like, his body wasn't doing anything, because once he passes, it's lit, like the color's gone, everything's gone, and it was, that machine was just keeping him alive. It wasn't him anymore. It's still tough, because then you got to think, if people, depending on people's definition of shit, I still wouldn't want to be the person that actually pulls the plug. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. I don't want, even if that's your job, I don't want to be the person that turns the machine off, because then, even though not maliciously, but by a definition
Like,
stance,
are you
yes, you are the
responsible?
person that turned that off, and now they are passing away. It's, I don't know. It's all fucking weird.
Yeah,
It's
it's a tough part of life, man, and I've witnessed it a couple times, and it's not an easy thing to deal with, and you just keep your blessings and hope that
yeah.
we kick it around, man. We kick it around. We keep kicking. We keep talking about water, man. But I'm ready to take a vote on this fucking thing, man, because I'm ready to throw up. Sorry.
Real quick though, I wanted to talk about the girl that I felt super bad for. Her name was Davida. She was the woman in purple. She was a black girl that was in purple and had like the outline. Yeah. When she's talking about, she woke up at 11:30 at night in the fucking.
Oh no, that's the one that didn't get raped. That was the other one. That was the other black chick. Right. That was the one that felt the burning sensation.
Yeah.
That's the
when she's talking about, she woke up at 11:30 at night in the thing.
Right.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not go to the? Well, yeah, I know that you don't go to cops because then you just did an illegal abortion, but it's
right. That's the one that went home and she was bloodied up and shit.
Like what?
Yeah, that's the exactly.
Like they let you sleep that long. Okay, and then when you woke up, what did you do? You woke up to what? Everybody not being there, to the lights off, and then you found your own way out. Or
yeah, I wish that they got into that a little bit more because it was what happened at 11:30, or did they think like, holy shit? Or were they like, holy shit, we didn't. Right. Hopefully, we didn't kill her. Let's see if she wakes up, and maybe when we get back, she'll be gone. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I can't imagine a doctor sitting by her side at 11:30 at night.
No.
I don't imagine seeing that.
No workers are going to stay that long because they were high schoolers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I felt bad for her. And the girl that got raped too, man, that was, people feel like that, man. You feel like you could trust your doctor or thing. Or these are people that you consider, as you get older, and as we get older, we start seeing it. You start learning and seeing like, okay, some of these doctors are fucking quacks, so they're not all legit. You know what I mean? But as growing up, you went to the doctor to make everything better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, you're not feeling good. Where do you go? You go to the doctor. Mom's your first doctor. She can't handle it. We got to go to another level, Ma. All right, we got to go see your doctor. And you feel safe going to these people, knowing that, look, I had 2 surgeries in my life, man, and I had to feel a sense of safety, of hopefully that you guys, hey, how did you sleep last night? Like, I asked my surgeon that shit.
You had to pour trust into these people.
Last time when I had my gallbladder removed, I was joking with the doctor, but I was like, hey, how'd you sleep last night? You good? He's laughing. He's like, yeah. That's a serious question. Nigga. Like, if you don't go to sleep, I really don't want you working inside my body, man. You know what I'm saying? Double vision and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real.
Yo, we can do this tomorrow if you don't feel good right now. Like, let me know, bro. Like, you want to push this back?
When we go back, we do this again? What the fuck?
Yo, but another thing, at the end of the movie, when the other woman from that worked at the at the other Planned Parenthood, when she was getting up and giving her speech, I thought that was powerful too. How she was saying like, they came in and they did a meeting about us washing our fucking hands, and she's like, that's what you do with kindergartners. You tell them to wash their hands. We know to wash our hands. It's go deeper. You got to give me a second sentence. You got to go into fucking what's really supposed to happen. But I think that was how we were talking earlier about. They put in these new rules but they didn't really want to put in the new rules, and it just seemed like, well, if people are complaining, we'll give them a little bit, but we're really not going to put in no effort. We're really not going to change shit. We're going to do it. We're going to keep it going how it's been going.
My final decision to this was, all right, they don't give a fuck about, because see, again, this is a controversy, you know what I'm saying? So this is a fight. This is you know what I mean? So my point is this. I came to the conclusion that abortion clinics, man, you know what I mean? They're like, they mean well, of being there. They mean well, but the actual fucking day-to-day workings and the actual inner workings of it is that the motherfuckers are just greedy and want money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what, when they was explaining how that lady, the whistleblower was explaining at Planned Parenthood that they was making, how he said that we need to make $10,000 a day. Well, guess what? That, I believe, was a big motivator for Kermit to keep doing what he was doing.
But you know what's crazy? And the top with that, man, it's every death comes with a price tag. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always money to be made, man. You know what I mean? Like you ever see a commercial for a fucking for a funeral home? It's almost insane. Like, how can you be smiling in your commercial knowing people are coming to you for, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I've seen some really like upbeat fucking, hey, come on, like the guy fucking like pops up in a casket. Like, bro, that's so class. That's so like tasteless.
I witnessed it when I went I went casket shopping with my mother for her father, for my grandfather when he passed away, and he was a carpenter. And you know what? They got her on it. They got her to buy this fucking $300 thing that was a hammer and a thing. And I'm just like, Ma, it's going in the fucking cat. Like, he doesn't then get buried and open his eyes like, oh, cool. I'm a carpenter, so they put that in there. Like, it's getting buried along with him. And you know what? If it's getting buried along with him, or before they close that shit, they might grab that shit back out and resell it to somebody else. Who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Like,
you better off taking something that was close to him and be like, he would have really loved this because this was close to near dear. That goes in the ground. You know what I mean? That when they upsell you at those fucking places, man. You know, like I've seen commercials, man, where the guy's like sitting there and like almost like a, I don't know. It's hard to be like a cheerleader kind of commercial when it's like trying to get people to come to you to bury somebody. Yeah, it shouldn't be so fucking
happy. Yeah.
Bro, that's a booming business.
Yep.
People die every day.
That is a booming business.
Any business that runs on emotion rather than logic is a huge fucking business because you're at your worst time. Like, it's the same thing when people buy flowers for a wedding. They pay out the ass, but instead, if you just go in there, you're like, yo, I need a bunch of flowers. What's it for? I just need a bunch of flowers. Soon as they hear wedding, boom, 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 you know what I mean? They overcharge and it goes way up. It's the same thing with a funeral. Oh, it's flowers for a funeral? Well, we're going to charge so much more because you're not worried about a price tag because your emotions are all up in it.
Right, exactly.
I can put the prices up high, and I know that you love this person, and you're going to be willing to spend that much money for them.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, people are fucking succubuses, man. They know what the fuck they're doing, bro. It's just like.
That's some evil shit, man. That's some evil shit. To where if karma exists and if, you know, they'll get theirs eventually, hopefully.
You got to fucking pay to be dead. Like, if you don't got no money, you can't be fucking buried properly.
That's a T-shirt right there, especially for the Halloween season. You got to pay to be dead. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Ain't nothing free. You got to pay to be dead.
You got to pay to be dead. Man. That's some fucking shit right there. Like, yeah, you're dead, and guess what? You can't even be putting that fucking ground with a nice stone on top of you unless you got fucking 10 grand in your back pocket.
Yeah
man.
Ugly.
It's an ugly fucking deal, man. I told my family, man, listen. Make it sweet, make it cremate me, man. Have a little talk, get some people together, talk some shit. We good to go, man. You know, I ain't got the money for that shit. Don't even worry about it. Don't out there doing go fund me for no.
Same shit with my dad. You know, we didn't have money really to. You know what I'm saying? All we had was money for the casket and the burial, really. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we didn't have money for his tombstone, so all we did was put his. You know, basically, you know, all we did was just. The same lot, we just, you know, where my grandfather was, we just put him right next to him. You know what I mean? That's all we could afford. I mean, that was that. You know what I'm saying?
Those headstones ain't no joke, man. A little flat fucking headstone in the ground is like $5 grand. It's crazy, man.
Bro. And just to imagine, right? When you know what I mean? Because I don't go visit him too much. You know what I mean? Like I should, you know, because I'm here. No excuse. But
yeah, man, that's the spot.
But when I went, you know what I'm saying, and I almost couldn't find him because, bro, not only was my dad's and my grandfather's, you know, tombstone flat, but like there was a whole bunch, like the fucking grave, like the caregivers of the cemetery weren't keeping up, and I called. Right? And these motherfuckers had the nerve to tell me.
They said it was on you?
Great. No. Straight fucking without a pause or. Yeah, but we didn't see nobody was taking care of the gravesite, so we didn't either.
Whoa. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
That's how they operate it, man. Bro, that's probably what they do. Because you think about it.
Living. I mean, live it. Like, live it. Like I went off, and then the very next day I went out there. and fucking went off on him in person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, they was like, they apologized, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna fix it. So then so then I left. You know what I mean? I came back, you know, a couple days after everything was straight. I left. Then I went back, and it was the last time was when I went, and everything was still good, and
Nice.
you know, and the tombstones, you know, all the tombstones that they were up. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, yo. They had a nerve to be like, but why are you worrying about everybody else's? I'm like, what the fuck you mean, man?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck you mean, man? Like what if it was your fucking people here? Would you care for, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really got them to start thinking, because I kept saying that to him. Like, what if it was your fucking grandmother, your mother, you know what I mean?
Right.
God forbid, your baby or something, God forbid, in here. Would you like that?
You know, he probably gonna talk with it when they get nasty with it, because in his head he's probably saying, "Well, I'd be taking care of it then." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know,
right. You know, but still.
shit like that, right? But the thing is, like, this is your grounds. But you know what? You know, you think about it, like,
I paid a service for these motherfuckers to stay to have this place kept up. Whether I come and visit or not is irrelevant.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
it's
We
their
paid
job.
you for a service. Your
Exactly.
fucking job is to come here and make sure this grass is cut and there no fucking vines growing over this tombstone. That's what the fuck you're getting paid to do. All right?
And the thing
Don't
is,
fucking tell me.
like, we're not talking
Man,
about.
I went off, man.
All right, and we're not talking about a tombstone from the 1700s. Like, we can see that ain't nobody gonna complain about that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody coming to complain. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, I mean, it's
like,
curtain, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
and we paid you for 3 people. Like, it ain't like we got 3 people in here.
Right.
My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my grandfather, and my father. They're all in the same area. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, like, come on, man. Like, yeah, I went off, man. You know what I'm saying? And a part of me was hesitant because I felt guilty too, because, you know, they did have you know, they were kind of right on that aspect of saying, well, you know, if you don't care, then why we should care? Like I kind of gave that a little bit of a merit, but then,
Right.
you know, but then I kept thinking, and I'm like, no, motherfucker, we paying you.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
You had to remember. She's like, hold on, I don't pay you monthly, but we paid, nigga.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what we paid is for
You know what I'm saying? Like that was like.
I
Fuck
gave
you,
you
man.
business. I gave you business at your fucking funeral, at your cemetery, because I could have went to another one.
You know what I mean? So you know, I was kind of you know fighting myself, but then I started, hey, fuck that. You know what I mean? And you know, it worked, and you know, so now I got to go back. I haven't been back in a while. You know, I got to go back just to make sure. But you know, that was just, you know, but yeah, you know, it's just crazy what people do, man, just for money, man. You know what I mean? Like really, and you know what? Like, I think we need to take a step back, man, and go back in the day, man, where it was more about morals and customs and tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it depends on who you ask, because you go further back in the day, motherfuckers didn't have morals. They fucking beheaded people in public. They lynched them in public.
Well, yeah. You're right.
Average
You're right.
person had morals. Your everyday Joe.
We just need people, you know, with more respect for things, you know, and just be more kind and shit, you know.
Yeah, I'm always tossed on that one, because I always feel like, you know, I feel like we're better, but then I feel like we're not, you know, or, you know what I mean? It's always you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like, it was really bad right now, but it's like, yeah, but I feel like it was a lot worse though. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot worse back then. And even though, but it was the toss side. I know what you're saying though, because I think about that even, like, even within the black community, is like, there was a lot more fucked up shit going on back in the 50s and 60s to the black community. But you know what? They were together more.
That aspect.
But they were together more. They were, like, as a black community, it was a stronger bond. You know what I'm saying? Over that shit.
What I'm trying to say is like I guess like be more family oriented. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Which is also, again, it depends on who you talk to. Again, I get it, but you know what I mean? We just need that camaraderie, man. I feel like there's no camaraderie, there's no companionship, there's you know what I mean? There's the kindness is selected. You know what I mean? People aren't just kind just to be nice no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just different, man. You know what I mean? It's just
We
there's
killed
less
that
love.
in the 90s, nigga. We did that shit in the 90s. Let's take ownership.
Yeah.
We got
You know
real
what I mean?
hard. We got real fucking hard in the
Yeah.
90s, man. And we didn't give a fuck. We
I
bred
guess.
these little badass motherfuckers. These are 90 babies, 90s, 2000 babies are just bad as shit. And they don't give a fuck because they thought it was cool that we thought it was funny to not give a fuck. What we thought was funny, they take rips.
Nah, in my opinion, there's no in-person interaction anymore. Like,
That's another thing.
There's a big difference between texting somebody "fuck you" and saying "fuck you" to somebody's face. It's a big fucking difference. In the 90s, we said "fuck you" to your face. Now everyone can be a little badass behind a computer, behind a text message. They don't know how to speak to people in person. They don't understand any of that human interaction.
And if they get a good comment in there and people start liking it, or "Oh, you wild, you savage," and it builds them up to like that. I'm the man now, or I'm the woman. Yeah, I'm talking my shit, and I got fans. The fans only page. Everybody needs a fan club now.
It's just like, I know this is something far-fetched, and I'm reaching right now. I'm reaching.
Get out.
It's just like Teddy. It's like Teddy Atlas said, man. You know what I mean?
Already a reach.
Yeah.
Already a reach.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what he said. You know, everything, your game plan and everything is gonna go right for you until you get punched in your face.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You can set it all up, but you gotta live real life.
Right. You could talk all the shit you want on these texts. You can act like you're the most fucking, you're the most gangsterish, most monstrous, most killingest person on this fucking thing behind the cameras. But when actually somebody comes up to you and punches you in your face, and then what's your reaction after that?
Yeah.
Because then all that shit you were screaming, they didn't believe, and and they just punched you in your face and said, "Now what?"
Yeah, prove it. You know. But and too, with different, I know that it's not a terrorist attack, but I'll tell you, you want to talk about, P, I agree with what you're saying about how people need to get together again, because we were all alive during this. You remember the feeling after 9/11 when we all felt like connected as one? That feeling did not duplicate during this fucking pandemic. This pandemic felt like everybody for themselves, get the fuck away from me. Right. I'm grabbing whatever I can off the, like, there was no like mass run on the stores after 9/11 of, oh my God, let me get everything that I can and fuck everybody else. Like that shit wasn't happening. And now we have a different crop of people without humanity, without feelings, without empathy for other people. And it is a me.
We say that some of those people that were having empathy, sympathy during 9/11 just fed it off an emotion, that if you really boxed them in a way where they had to choose and like, fuck everybody, they would say, you know what I'm saying?
No, say it again.
No, I'm just like, you sprinkle in those people that were about, almost like they chose 9/11 or felt obligated to have that empathy, sympathy. But now when it came to like a deal where we're locked in, it's a pandemic, and like you would think that would make you more helpful and giving, but it was like you said, the total fucking opposite, where it was just like, no, everybody's out for themselves. Like maybe those people that were fuck everybody's out for themselves. I'm just saying, could they possibly been pretenders during the 9/11 togetherness? Maybe they felt like they had to. And then
I mean, anything's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, I come up with baby.
When Kevin Garnett won the championship and screamed everything's possible, just pretend I did that right now. It's amazing. Like I said, they are different situations, but it's just just in general of everything, man. People are just cold these days. You know what I mean? Like
it is. It's a cold deal, and I try to fucking stay out there and talk to people and stay communicating. It's like, hey, fucking talk to. Hey, what up, man? I'm talking to a stranger. What up? You good? I don't know you, but sometimes check on the motherfucker, man. I don't know. Man, you go too busy fucking staring at your fucking imaginary friends on your phone all day.
It's tough now because in-person interaction is the least interaction that we have, and it didn't used to be like that. But now, actually dealing with, like, you even think when I go grocery shopping, rarely do I actually check out with an actual person. You know what I'm saying? It's super rare, especially because I live alone, so I just shop for myself. So I don't have a basket full of groceries. I got 12 things. Right. So I'm not even talking to a fucking checkout lady anymore.
Bro. Right. Like we were looking at each other crazy, giving daps to each other. And I known this man for how long?
Yeah.
And it came to a point where, you know what I mean, it was that we got to, because of the not knowing of information and the not knowing, you know, we was at one point like.
Yeah.
Right. But that was just more of a bit. But I'm just like, you know, back into
I'm just, you know, just an example. You like
right.
It drove people that were so close,
right?
That were, you know, you know, friends. You know what I mean? That it got incorporated into family members with family members. Like it drove a wedge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, you know, I didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I know we didn't give a fuck. We were just, you know, just doing that. But there are people that were just like so scared that they were like, yo, you stay right there. I'm gonna stay right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I even still like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. Like this is driving everybody away from each other, man, and isolating everything.
You know what? I almost feel like it's been happening for some time now before this. I think about it when we were younger. You know, I felt like we interacted with the old school generation. Like we interacted with elders. You know what I mean? That's how we learned shit. You know what I mean? These younger guys, they don't need to interact with us. They don't need to. Like they're like, I don't need to learn anything from you. I don't need to learn nothing from you. I can learn right here. I don't need to learn anything from you. There's nothing you could teach me that I can't find a life hack for online.
Right.
You know
what I'm saying? Wait a minute. That story you told me, I looked it up, and it wasn't that. The story wasn't like.
And that's the generation under us. Why I say that is because, hey, look, we're stuck dealing with everybody our age and up, nigga, because these young motherfuckers ain't trying to fuck with us. Like regular conversation. Like I do it for like young employees. Like that's why I fuck with them at the Dunkin' Donuts. Some of them malfunction because it's like, oh my God, somebody's interacting with me in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like no, it's called regular interaction. You know, you should try it. It's not in your
phone. It's called a conversation. That's all it is. It's just common conversation, man.
It's not a YouTube prank. I'm actually talking to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This isn't a TikTok. We're actually having a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's talking to me. Right. Where's the camera at? Come out.
Yeah,
What's the prank? No, nigga, this is what people do.
No, this is life, my guy. You know what I mean? This is what happens.
But there's some young
person and you get a reaction back.
There's young people out there that break the mold though, that aren't about that. You know what I'm saying? And they're like actually are out of their younger generation and can like older or just show homage and respect. That's all.
No,
I get it what old niggas want. All they want is respect and homage. That's all they want. Because now as you get older, that's all you kind of search for. Like, oh, you niggas don't give a fuck about the 90s, huh? I was showing a little respect for the fucking gangster rap, you know?
No, I get it. I understand that it's just technology went in a full sprint. You got to remember, we experienced it without technology. So we have a point of view that nobody else is ever going to have. And I think it's tough for us sometimes to understand our point of, I just gave away my vote. My bad. We just have a point of view to where nobody else can have that point of view because we existed to where we were out playing basketball and football and we weren't ever concentrated on like, yeah, but do I have a text message? Do I have it? No, we were just like, damn, I hope it doesn't get dark soon because my mom's going to be yelling for me to fucking come home. Like we lived a different life. We just lived a different life.
In the moment. Everything is, I felt like we learned it the way it's supposed to be learned. You know what I mean? You got to gradually get into these things. But then it's like, maybe knowing it all is good, but then you look at them and almost feels like it vegetates them. It's like overload of information. It's too much.
Yeah.
And it just become this vegetable where they're kind of staring at them. They stare at so many things that people are doing that they don't have a chance to decide what they want to do for themselves.
It's no more process. You're
constantly staring. All you're doing is like, well, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could make a TikTok channel. Maybe I could, not really honing in on something maybe they're really good at. You know what I mean? If
there is no process. There is no There is no process. There is no development. There is none of that. It is from, all right, I want this. I see this. I need this. There is no, oh, okay. I see how he did that. Let me figure and see how he got that, and then let me do that to eventually get to where he's at. No, shit, that guy got this motherfucking car. You know what I'm saying? And I want that car, and I want that right now.
Instant gratification is what it is nowadays. Instant gratification.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I said that to a young kid the other day at my brother's house. I said, yo, I said, that's all right. You part of the generation of instantaneous gratification, my guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, see, he said, that's what I'm talking about. I don't even know what you mean. I said, I know, because you can't retain information now. Like, that's what, like, you gave a perfect answer to what I'm talking about. It's just like, you didn't slow down and try to listen to what I said. It just came out, and you was like, well, I don't know, I am, nigga, because you're not trying to process the shit I'm telling you.
Right.
Motherfucker,
Did you even hear what I said?
I'm a crock pot. You're a microwave. You know what I'm saying? I put it on 6 hours for low, and you put it on for 1 minute. That's what it is. I'm a crock pot. You are a microwave. Come get this pulled pork.
I think you mix in like the technology and access they have, and you mix in the fact of being young, dumb, and feeling like you know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we had that shit too. But now you put that what they actually have something that makes them feel solidified, like they know everything. Because literally, I can look and know everything I want to know in this little phone.
Right, like that's like Google is the know-it-all for everything. Right, like Google can't ever be wrong about anything.
Yeah. But you know what I will say too? What fucks it up for them? Why I do feel bad for them in a certain sense. We could make mistakes back in the day, and it disappeared. And by that I mean it wasn't recorded and then shared with everybody. Like it was, all right, we might fuck up, but haha, laugh it off. Nowadays they make a mistake, they do something stupid, they do something that was corny and that wasn't cool to everybody else. It's on video, and now everybody got it, and everyone's gonna make fun of them forever. You know, so they do have a disadvantage there that I do feel bad for them about. You know, that shit does suck. I wouldn't want to live up to those standards.
Right. I mean, shit. Think about every person on the. One of my guilty pleasures is watching the fucking street fights and people get knocked out. You know, what I mean, it's terrible, but as you think about it, it's like, man, that person has to live with that, being known as that person that got knocked the fuck out, or the girl that got beat up by Sharkeisha, all those viral things. You know, Sharkeisha, no, or you know what I'm saying. Motherfuckers just getting beat the hell up, and it's like, yo, if somebody zoomed in on your face and said you got knocked the fuck out, like that shit's always funny. The only person that's not funny to is the guy that got knocked out. You know what I mean? It's like people don't understand that shit. Like that shit ain't.
And like I said, and that never goes away. That never goes away. That's there forever. Nothing gets scrubbed off the internet.
You can see the PTSD on some shit like that, man. People fucking, you know. Shit, that guy made the Entertainment Tonight from right here in New Haven. Fucking, it made Entertainment Tonight because it was one of the Cousin Twist joints where the guy was battling, and that dude was like, yo, we went in the car, I'm about to battle this thing in the car or whatever. And the guy said some shit like, yo, I'm a general, nigga, and he started punching the wall. He was drunk a little bit, something. He was talking shit after trying to, they both were garbage freestyling anyway.
Yeah.
But the other dude that was his hood, he just fucking came up and just snuck him from the side. Boom. Cracked his whole shit. The dude was fucking out. But it was like a whole big thing. Like, he had some real major damage from that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know what I mean? Now that guy has, that resurfaced. I said it because that resurfaced the other day. And that video came out probably 10 plus years ago, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you mean? Like 10 plus years ago. And that thing, it's not going to die.
Right.
You know, that's like any mom that's out there that's, or soon to be mom that's doing nothing but porn her whole young life and then becomes a mom. You know what? Maybe one day your son's going to see that porn like, damn, my mom is doing, I could never watch porn again.
Right. Or just being that chick, you know, that wild chick, you know what I mean, doing what she doing, you know what I mean, getting, you know what I mean, thotted out, getting on tape, getting thotted out, whatever. Then, you know, she eventually cleans up her act and becomes, you know, a productive member of society.
Yeah. Now,
you know what I mean?
Think about that scenario though. Right? A young kid coming into his young male coming into his young adulthood. And, you know, we wander out there, we start getting into, you know, watching porn and getting, you know, you're young. You're like, what's this? You know, I get to see it all right now before you actually see it. And, like, imagine his first time actually seeing porn and sees his mom.
Yo, these motherfuckers don't know. I used to saran wrap my VHS porn tapes and hide them in the fucking woods. These kids don't know how good they got it. They do not know how good they got it.
Word, I was definitely fucking ripping labels off, nigga.
Yep. Because I was like, man, I can't.
They got, to them, CDs is ancient. You know what I mean? So they don't even fathom.
Yeah, that's what's the thing, man. Yeah. Shit, let my favorite porn back when I was younger get eaten up.
VCR? What the fuck is that? A VCR.
Dude, man. All that ass 47 fucked up on me, man.
For real. You know, there would be those fucking, like, because, like, on your favorite scene, it would start getting fucking weird because you played it so many times. So you're just like, fuck, it doesn't even look good anymore.
Track it.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Hey, so what are we gonna vote on?
So we're gonna start this rating, right? And this is how I'm gonna do it. This is how I'm gonna give it. You know, right? All right. I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna give it 4 canepas, and this is why. All right, 4 because of the many attempts that were trying to get the state of Pennsylvania and the people who were in power attention. They didn't get it. You know what I mean? I gave them 4 because the lack of importance that and the plea of help that they were screaming from at the top of their lungs that was just being ignored. You know what I mean? I gave it a 4 because, you know what I mean, it had to take cops and a drug, you know, a fake drug allegation for all of this to come even into play. You know what I mean? You know,
I almost feel like you're going the way I would go. Like you're ranking it high because of the reasons why you didn't like it. So I'm talking about ranking it high of why you liked it and low if you didn't.
No. I'm just ranking it because of what to me, I'm just picking out the good points of what I liked about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm going on.
And that's your going on. Okay. These are what you like about it. Okay. You didn't state that. I thought you were going this.
Right. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just you know, basically I'm just going the moral aspect, the moral way of it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And things like that. I would have, you know what I mean? I think that's a little bit, I'm giving them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. But you know, in all reality, you know, this was a sad documentary. You know what I mean? Just for the victims and shit like that, and for those lives that are no longer gonna be here. The dude was a fucking nutcase. The doctor, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was just sad. It was just sad and pretty much disappointing that, you know, these medical people, you know, that have these high positions and these high titles, you know, were just giving a blind eye to this man and just letting him do whatever he wanted. You know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? And to just to give content, like we got to also we also got to tell the people that this wasn't a normal like abortion clinic or a normal way of having an abortion. Like he was taking it in his own hands, doing it in his own way, because he himself wasn't 100% on what he was doing. So basically, he was taking late pregnancies and aborting and killing babies, fully developed babies. You know what I mean? Which is not right. You know what I mean? But yeah, four canepas on that because you know what I mean. It just took way too long to uncover. You know what I mean? The bullshit that this guy was doing.
Yeah. If I can go next real quick, I'm gonna go with a strong 2, and I'll say that because I hated the subject matter. I'm not mad that I had to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm down to, because if you didn't put it up, I would have never watched it. So I'm glad that you got me through to watch it. I put it 2 because I hate the subject matter. 1, Pumpkin, I have to add because of, I believe that this will bring more awareness to the problem of like, oh my God, it's so fucked up. And how could people be still acting like this? Like in because they were saying Virginia rolled it back in 2014, which is like, holy shit, man, that's not a long time ago, you know? And I haven't looked up, but I can't imagine that they've changed much since then. You know what I mean? It was, I hated having to look at those pictures of the babies and all the, you know, the small little feet and shit like that fucked me up. But I'm glad that I know about it now. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I can't give more because I don't want anything related to that guy to be praised at all. You know what I mean? Even though it's just us doing it on a fucking podcast. It doesn't matter. But I'm just like,
just the morality of it.
Yeah, the morality. I can't believe nobody's killed him yet. I'm like in real life not a violent person, but like holy shit, I want to beat the fuck out. Like I want to like grab his mouth and open it. You know what I'm saying? And like rip his fucking head open apart and just fucking kill him. Like it aggravates me. It aggravates me. Right. I want to snip his fucking neck. Exactly. Right. It aggravates me that he's using taxpayer money and eating. You know what I mean? It aggravates me that he still gets to eat. It aggravates me that he probably has a fucking pillow when he gets to lay down at night. You know what I mean? He probably has a blanket. Like, it's just, it aggravates me that we now get that we treat him like a human being still. You know what I'm saying? That shit fucks me up. That, not that we should have a barbaric justice system, but that he's like that at any point in his life moving forward, he gets to be comfortable. And obviously jail isn't for the most part comfortable, but I'm sure at some point that motherfucker has his favorite meal in jail. You know what I mean? Whether it's ramen, whether, I don't know, but it's just.
He's going to make it home at some point after a year or so. I mean, he's going, once he's settled in and knowing he's ready for the rest of his fucking life, he got no choice.
Yep. But so, like I said, for me, I did not like the subject matter, but I'm still glad that I went through it. And now I think just like any other documentary that we watch, now I know more about it. So I'm happy I know more about it and I could pass it along to people about how fucked up the system is. And so, yeah, it's not a disrespectful 2, but it's a 2 from me.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm right in the midst of both of you guys. I'm a 2.5 watermelon right now. And I go down the middle because of, half of me is like, because I am half and half too. So maybe that's all has to tie in. I don't know. This things now. Half of me was really didn't like, not the subject matter. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, they're talking about abortions. Like, that's a real thing that should be talked about. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things and pro-life, pro-choice, and the fucked up shit that people go through. I didn't like that. Of just once again having that eye open up again, that you try to close to the knowledge of actually people out there like that, man. You like to sometimes think that shit doesn't exist, and there's fucking people out there like that. And there's another eye opener, as they say. It's like, oh man, just more fucked up people in the world doing fucked up things, and mental health is another thing that I keep putting my hat on with certain things. Like, doctor or not, man, there's something wrong with that fucking guy. So like the second half, the 2.5 of not liking the content and what it was, and then the half of me is like, well, I did enjoy kind of knowing about something, you know what I'm saying, and learning about it, and seeing the kind of fucked up shit that exists out there, man. These are things I got to tell my kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is a thing out there. There's people out there that do these things, and to be aware of them, you know what I mean, and not fall for it. And I think together, like, if I were to also judge the documentary, because I like to try to do that sometimes, judge how the actual documentary was put together, I felt like, due to in the subject matter, this was a big way I judged it a little on the downside of the 2.5, because within the subject matter, I felt like they gave us too much scattered information as far as, like, I tell you what, I did like the way they built the documentary, because if you think about it, if I just turned it on and didn't watch a trailer and didn't know anything about it, and I just said, what's this? Boop. It had you really on the edge of your seat wanting to know what they were talking about for almost the first 15, 20 minutes. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, the way they were described, they were kind of like, they didn't come right out and go, like at the beginning of the documentary, it goes, hey, this is about Kermit so-and-so, and he killed babies, and you know what I mean? It was kind of like they were just saying what he did was messed up, what he did was horrific, and I trusted him. And they had these people saying statements, and it was a very big buildup to the point where the actual sheriff, I believe, came out and said the findings they had and what he was arrested, what he was arrested for. I think
that's when the picture started. That's
right. When I felt like that was a good and bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a good kind of build up for a documentary, but then I felt it was bad because then when I got to the content, it fucking was depressing, and it fucking put me in a spot of like, man, this is fucking sucks. And like, I'm pro-choice, but then it's like, man, you see a fucking dead fetus, a baby, man, and it makes you want to leap on that pro-life side because you see that, you know what I mean, and it becomes real to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, man, there should be more fucking orphanages or something, or you know what I mean? You feel like that, you know what I'm saying? So I was very torn, man. But like, if I say the way the documentary was put together, I didn't enjoy the way they laid out information. I felt like it was scattered. I feel like they didn't ask enough questions, that I left with more questions than I got answers out of the documentary, that I have to now go and look more into the story if I want more information about it. So if I were to judge just that documentary, which I try to do sometime, that documentary, the way they laid it out, it was real scattered. You know, I mean, they snuck in at the end with that whole, you know, with the Planned Parenthood, that whole other thing. I almost feel like they should have incorporated that beginning or middle to the documentary and then rehatched it. They kind of just like threw a little teaser in there at the end and just like, oh yeah, by the way, this happened. That. Okay, well now I got questions about that shit, and you just kind of gave us a little bit and ran away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd like to see an entire documentary on Planned Parenthood now. You know what I mean? Of like really get into, whoa, what the fuck's up?
Right. Like looking at the business side of things, how you said,
exactly.
Like this is fucking big business. Like, so you got people that are just be willing to look at a malpractice fucking abortion clinic that's doing shit all fucked up, and as long as they're paying their bills, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, and it's just another way to see that you know, money could get you through bullshit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money could get you through pretty much anything, man. And fucking buy influence and buy your way out of trouble. So yeah, it's two and a half watermelons for me, man. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but I didn't. I enjoyed the knowledge, but I hated the subject matter.
The visuals.
I didn't appreciate the way they put the documentary together. It was too all over the place for me, man. You know what I mean? I had so many more questions like them niggas didn't give me. So
one last thing I wanted to say is I felt super, super bad for the white girl. I forget her name, but when she was told to go home instead of being able to go on the stand and speak, because I know that meant so much to her to be able to go and look at the motherfucker and say that shit. So I felt really bad for her because that was like, even in like the Jeffrey Epstein case, he passed away, but they still let his victims go up there and just fucking vent. And I think that was big for her. I think she needed that, was to just get up, say what she needed
doesn't have that closure.
Talk her shit. Exactly. Closure is a perfect word. She didn't have that closure of like, regardless of what happens, she wanted to get up there and fucking talk so somebody could hear her. Because you could tell she was someone that, like, she's told her people around her, but I don't think she got to tell her story to enough people that would really listen and be like, wow,
especially now the guy
did this to you.
Right.
Yeah, he did this to you. Now, you know, we're putting him away for life. But it's just, I felt bad for her for that because I feel like she needed that. I really feel like she needed that.
She wanted to be the extra nail to put in that guy's coffin, and she wanted to get it off her chest, knowing that what she shared and her experience helped put that guy away. I'm pretty sure she would have felt good about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I agree.
I want to share this, and I want to be the extra nail to put in this fucking guy's coffin because what he did was fucked up. And, you know, and people need to know, you know?
Yeah.
So
in conclusion, I would say, fuck you, Kermit Gosnell, die slow, you motherfucker. I hope you're in pain right now. I hope you're in pain tomorrow. I hope you're in pain the next day.
And P, when I said fuck you at the beginning of this shit, it was only because of the visual was the first thing I had.
47 fetuses, man.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
That's why I said
40,
fuck you.
And that's just what they... That's what they so-called reported, because I believe it's way more than that. I believe it's a lot way more than 47.
Oh,
he's been doing this. He's been doing this. He's been doing this since 1979.
Yeah, 47 is what they found, right?
You know what I mean?
So
exactly.
That
47 is just what the other doctor was supposed to because it was his I guess he was supposed to like the coroner. That's what it was. The coroner was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with 47 fucking fetuses?"
Yeah, it's, you know, that guy's he's gonna have to face his judgment, man. Hopefully, you know. All right, so we got.
So it's on me. This one is I'm going in the other direction. This
Immortality or bust?
Immortality or bust, which is the other direction of motherfuckers want to live as long as possible. They're trying to, let's watch and then we'll talk, guys. We'll chat after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Using technology to prolong life.
I'm technology. Boy.
Yeah, it's some using technology to live forever type shit, which
fucking dope.
RFD. There's where the RFD shit come into play.
Let me get inside my apartment real quick. Boop.
This is gonna be good.
You got your coronavirus vaccine? Boop. Yes, I do. Like,
everything. Your fucking medical history. Ooh.
Yep. All that. So that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool to where, like, all right, we did the kind of before death type shit, and now it's like, how long can you live type shit. So it'll be interesting.
Oh, we.
It's called Can I Beat That Venture?
Yeah. The Zoltan, no wonder fucking Adam Sandler fucking took that
Right?
name. Zoltan. Don't mess with the dips. Yo, son, this is crazy because you know what I mean, this is on that line of, you know what I mean, New World Order and you know what I'm saying, a regular way of living of you know what I'm saying? Like, that's real touchy.
And that shit is that's what Elon Musk is working on right now. Like, he already said he's hooked up the bioreaders to like pigs and shit, and like they're still alive. So it's humans next. And man, you want to talk about, instead of searching Google on your phone, you think Google? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Ooh, and guess what? And only the elite of the rich will be able to even fathom that fucking option.
Oh yeah, and eventually we'll get the garbage ass dollar store version of it. You know what I mean?
They did everything first, man. They had the first Segways, the first fucking hoverboards, first fucking car phones, first fucking cell phones. Rich get it first, you know that.
Yeah. So it should be good, man. It should be a crazy one. Hopefully,
they were the first to get the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because the niggas got money to travel to fucking China.
Because that was the New York fashion show. Everybody came from everywhere and was just mixing. Crazy.
Mixing and fixing.
But yeah, I think it'll be a good one.
Yeah. And what more to prove a point or try to get your point even proven? You know what I'm saying? Than to have it manipulativized by the rich, meaning let's manipulate the rich people, you know what I'm saying, into thinking that this is what we need to get done, so that way everything else will just trickle down.
Yeah, because you know everybody follows that. Oh my God, the rich people are doing it, and then everybody else hops on board.
True story.
No fucking fake.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, man. It looks.
Man, how my shit go? Got some shit this week coming up, babe.
Tell her she can check it on your RFD. She be like, see, that's think about that shit. Let me check your shit. Where you been at today, nigga? Boop. Let me see your let me see your fucking trace you. Let me see it. Okay.
Let me see your tracker. Let me see your tracker.
And it got your package everywhere you were. I noticed you was down there at 126th Street for about 3 hours. What was you doing down there? Damn, my boy. Shit is real in the field, cuz.
Oh, that's your boy? Let me see. Where's the conversation?
Right. Show me your wrist. Get off my wrist.
Yeah.
Chicks fucking cutting dude's wrist off just to get his information.
Yeah. I just sent
get off my wrist already.
I just sent the trailer to you.
All right, cool.
I got it. It's no more. It's gonna be like, damn, stop sweating me. Get off my dick already. It's gonna be like, yo, damn, stop sweating me. Get off my wrist already.
Yeah, bars.
Why you on my wrist though? Get off my wrist.
You know that's that shit when you fall asleep and the girl tries to put your thumb on your phone to open it. Nowadays you got the wrist.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see.
That's right. You just gotta wear. They're gonna get like some glove and shit that you put on and wrap around. So now.
Nintendo did that. Nintendo got that power glove.
The RFD blocker, you know what I'm saying?
Jamming the signal and shit, you know what I mean?
You need a code.
Jamming the signal.
Yeah, you need a code to get in my wrist, boo.
For real. No, man, and it's one of it just came out in 2020, and that's the world that we're living in right now, so it should be good.